So do you want to go along the Confederate's axis of advance through the field, or do you want to keep circling around on the main road and end up at Big and Little Round Top?
Well, we can, it's up to you. We could take this road
I'd say stay on the main road.
Okay.
That's going to take us down through, and then before we come up through the visitor center, we'll end up coming up through the wheat field. And I'm pretty sure there's the Irish Brigade marker somewhere down in there.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, let's continue, because this road's going to take us. This is Confederate Avenue. We're on Warfield Ridge. We haven't come to the 7 yet. 6 is back there. So we got to continue down. Where's this observation tower at? Should be coming up. Yeah, so
it's on the other side over there.
We'll just continue. No, it says it's supposed to be right on this road here.
Oh, okay.
So let's continue. He would have attacked sooner. Longstreet. He could have got the heights on top of Big Round Top. If he would have got the heights on Big Round Top, he could have fired down onto Little Round Top and knocked probably the Federals off of Little Round Top. But he didn't attack soon enough because he didn't like Lee's battle plan. So they would have got those heights, and if you look at the terrain and cleared some of them trees off, because it probably wasn't as wooded back then, you don't know. Who knows what it was like. But if it was clear, because the Federals, I don't think
they might have been chopping it down to make these abatis.
See, the Federals left this wooded hill undefended, Big Round Top, until the evening of the 2nd day.
Critical moment in time.
Yeah, if he could have got to it. I mean, who knows? They still might have been repulsed, but
yeah,
he would have had a lot better chance than where we're standing right now. We're where? We're standing right where Hood's division kicked off and started in between.
That's a lot of green between here and there.
Yeah.
Still, it's a small battlefield, all things considered.
And it was right, Sickles' artillery was pointed right at him.
Yep. That's how they got in that counter battery fire. Something tells me that these walls were higher back in the day. These parapets were probably built up just enough to get the cannons over them and create enough deflection that you could aim down into the valley. Oh, these are rifled, I think. Let's take a look. Yeah, rifled, or at least the ones that are here are represented to have been rifled. What do they say? Parrot guns. Yeah, rifled. Yeah, 2 parrot guns from Riley's battery. The Rowan artillery. But they're able to cover the low ground and then also fire upon, probably through the wood line. Maybe get some. It would be plunging fire because of a hill.
You got to think these trees probably were not here. You could probably see right on, because there's no other reason to have them here. You could probably see right onto the Little Round Top.
You probably had a forward observer down there with flags, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? I wasn't there.
I just missed it.
It was in junior high, dickhead. So this is the right of the Army of Northern Virginia. Farthest right flank of the setting Confederate Army. And like Joe and I were discussing, you look at most of these trees, you got to understand this is farmland plowed up. But most of these trees that are in front of us as we're approaching, you look at the diameter of them, most of them aren't probably more than 50, 60 years old. So whether they were planted or whether they came to be at some point in time, they're not as old. They probably would not have been there in front of that battery because they would have had a clear field of fire probably to the top of the hill.
More than likely.
Actually, a few of these might be like 80, 90 years old. Yeah, generally speaking, if it's about 20 inches in diameter, you're looking at about 35, 40-year-old tree, generally speaking. Depends on growth rate. Yeah, none of these are
There's no big
ancient.
trees.
No. So now we're getting into Union territory. And one thing of note is it not too deep into the woods. You can start to see these stone walls here that were built up, and it's all along this road. You don't have to look very deep, but you could imagine that this rocky terrain here provided some sort of cover and concealment from fire, but you don't have to go too far back there to see where the stone walls were erected. Yeah, definitely Hasties. But yeah, these ramparts provided battle positions for soldiers that were basically dicking the dirt, shooting at what they could see just coming over these little ridges. I prematurely stopped my video, but this is exactly what we were talking about.
It's facing the right direction.
Yep. Facing out, front towards enemy. It's like 90% of everything else.
Farnsworth was the Union Cavalry general. They came out of this wood line.
Brigadier General.
Yeah.
Age 25.
Age 25. He was fast-tracked.
Yeah.
Charged out of here into this field. There's that house in the background. That's a slider farm, I believe.
Yep.
But because of the terrain, it wasn't good. There was rocks and boulders, and he got shot in the face.
That'll do it.
Ending that 25-year-old's life.
That'll knock you off your horse.
Yeah.
Joe and I were just wondering who Wells was. William Wells, Medal of Honor recipient. I'll read right through here real quick on the citation. For gallant and meritorious service, March 13th, 1865, Brigadier General U.S. Volunteers, May 19th, 1865, honorably mustered out, January 15th, 1866, so he made it till the end. Once wounded and once a prisoner, awarded the Medal of Honor for most distinguished gallantry at Gettysburg, July 3rd, 1863, commander of Sheridan's Cavalry Corps. And I'd never even heard of him. Does this,
Yeah, it tells you exactly what happened.
Yeah? Well, let's put this to some use. Heading up the little round top, but notice this memorial off the beaten path. Well, you know what, actually it's a pretty well beaten path, but off the roadway. And take a look, see what's up. All right, so it turns out that this battle marker is for the 1st Regiment Vermont Cavalry. I took a picture noting the disparities in casualties, or rather the disparities in casualties between men who died of, you know, disease, where you had like 123 of them versus 107 died in battle. Out of 67 engagements, that's not a bad tally. But when you think about it, they lost 67 here at Gettysburg. So that's the lion's share of their total casualties. Got some more ramparts here. Decided to continue on down the trail rather than doubling back on the road to go to a little round top. But I can definitely see and feel that the ground is sloping downward. We're just commenting on how this is, and history comments on how this is a terrible terrain for a cavalry charge. Where typically in open field combat, if you had two lines met, you'd want your cavalry flanking around like a terrain feature, maybe, you know, even a hill or defilade or something, and then hitting the enemy from the flank in order to disrupt and decimate their line. But yeah, it looks like we're going down into the valley.
This might be taking us away.
Yeah, it is.
It's taking us to the Slider Farm.
Yeah, it is. All right, back to the road and then up a little round top. All right, so this is where the Massachusetts infantry and the Pennsylvania infantry on Big Round Top were basically staged. Over here it gives a breakdown.
They took position against that stone wall. It was kind of like this. Down and across.
This position was held until the close of the battle. You can look along this wall, and how it goes all the way from the base to the summit, as evidenced by not only this stone wall being here, but records of history. And it's like Joe was saying, the last time that this stone was placed was in 1863, and except for maybe that one. That one was probably already there. But yeah, hands-on history. We're heading up to the 20th Maine Monument.
Where he came down, he did that textbook maneuver.
Who?
Chamberlain.
Yep.
Came down and sweeping down the hill this way. He left this intact. It was like a swinging gate coming this way. Most textbook maneuvers back then, and it actually worked.
Yeah, it's amazing how sometimes doctrine works.
Right.
Yeah, even just that far.
You're dead.
Yeah. And that's 4th New York Infantry up there.
Yeah.
Then
44th.
16th Michigan Infantry down here. All right, so 44th up there. And you figure Devil's Den's down there, just getting shelled. You got artillery firing all the way from across there, from Seminary Ridge, where that White House is. That's where we actually came in on. Joe pointed that out to me. I'm not very well oriented right now. But yeah, there's a little flank marker there set in.
Probably for the Michigan.
Yeah, this is as advantageous as this ground is. It's not to be thought that these guys didn't suffer casualties up here. because they were still taking fire, still taking shelling. In fact, there's where those kids are standing on those rocks jumping around. Bullets were all smacking into those, and the evidence of which has been disappeared and weathered by wind and rain.
There. That woods.
No.
So they were taking cannon fire from that direction.
Yep. Hallowed ground indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving one of the battle markers of the 146th New York Infantry Regiment, where General Meade was observing the battle. I believe it was July 3rd, but he was only there for a time. Probably just to surmise that Dan Sickle broke ranks and let himself out there just a little too far. But revisionists of history are starting to say that that helped to stall the Confederate advance enough that it may have actually helped rather than impeded the Union's effort.